$20 off a purchase of $100 or more at Cabela's.
$20 off what?
$20 off a $100 purchase or more at Cabela's.
Oh, okay.
It came because I ordered a box of ASYM, ASIUM, or ASIUM, or however you want to pronounce it. It's 9mm, 124 grain plus P, Spear Gold Top bullet, but they do their own, their own loading of the round. I mean, it's the exact same specs as Gold Dots.
How you know why buy Winchester white box hollow points?
Yeah, I can't get Gold Dots, so I got these instead. That's my preferred carry-on is a Gold Dot, and these are a close second. Everything I could find out. There's not a whole lot of information out there on them. Doesn't perform just as well as a Gold Dot.
Did you take that picture right there?
Yes, I did.
What you taking? Like, what's your backdrop?
My backdrop, that's just a white cloth that's...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in my light box.
Yeah, that's what I need to build, a light box. I need to build one the size of a rifle.
A light box? Yeah. Because I need to take pictures of, like, shit. Like, I'm about to sell all these shoes on eBay, and I need to take pictures of them, and I want them to look good. What the fuck? Yeah. What do I do, like, to take good pictures? Like how you make a light?
A light box is white fabric that light can pass through.
Yeah.
That's all it is, and it's normally a box shape with an open front.
Cause it's kind of like when they use like when they take pictures and shit, they got the little white thing over the lens, like the white shade. Yeah.
Yeah, what those are shades, and those are not shades, diffusers, and they diffuse the light because the light that comes off of the lighting is extremely harsh. You'll get a lot of reflection.
Right.
So when you do something like that, you get these, the high points of, say, a piece of steel will be harshly lit, but with that, the shades on the light box over the lenses, that diffuses the light and makes it a more even, consistent light, and you don't get those extreme highs, that sharpness. Like if you saw Bob's, high power picture, the whole barrel looks like it's steel. That's because of the light glare. And it's just lighting. You just need straw. You need a lot of wattage and lights.
Mother house and make her take the picture. She'll start the first one.
There you go. Yeah, it's the amount of lighting and the way you control the lighting that's important.
All right.
So I change phones and cameras every once a year, and this year my camera sucks. So my pictures suck. So next year.
What camera did you go with?
It's supposed to be better than the camera that was in my last phone, except it's
oh,
not.
Okay.
Sucks.
Using the camera on your phone, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a 5 megapixel, but the previous gen of this same exact phone was 5.3 megapixel.
Yeah.
Took better pictures.
Megapixels are everything as far as...
Yeah, I know. So obviously that last gen phone I had also had a better lens, right?
Yep, better glass.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to look into that before I buy my next phone.
Yo, just get the iPhone 6 Plus, man.
Yeah, it's the one thing Apple's got going for it, are really nice cameras in their phones.
I would like all that stuff, but I don't want an iPhone. The slow motion and all the what is that?
Slow motion now, not just iPhone.
Yeah, but they do it good, right? I don't know. Let's see what they got. I don't usually buy like $700 phones.
You're like
I do a unlimited pay per month or whatever. Metro.
And you don't sell me that magazine or not?
Or no.
Yeah, I took this picture with a 7-year-old point and shoot.
So besides getting hit with ricochet jacket, how's that gun shoot?
It shoots great. And the ricochet was not the gun's fault either. Some people should know that.
Ricochet.
I had a hollow point, the jacket from a hollow point come back and hit me in the
I heard this
shoulder.
story because I was listening to the chat, but like I don't understand how it hits you.
They came back at me. I shoot into this range. It's just a dirt berm. I'm 7 yards away from it. Bullet gets in there and shoots it back at you. I don't know exactly how it worked, but it did.
I've never seen a dirt berm shoot anything out. That's weird.
Yeah, well, I hear stuff fly out of that berm all the time because you can hear it hit the. You can hear metal hit the tin roof that's over the dirt berm and the targets.
Uh-huh.
You can hear that kind of like that ping. It's not like it's a rock. It's a piece of metal that's hitting it.
I think somebody's shooting at you from the other side of that motherfucker.
Yeah. sounds like a conspiracy.
Yeah, the other side of that is all trees, so it's a possibility.
A grassy knoll.
Oh, there's a couple of things that could happen. You know, it could have bounced. You know, my bullet could have hit in there, kicked that jacket up against the slanted roof, and then it just hit at the right angle. It came right back at me. I said I just put a little cut in my leather jacket.
The magic jacket. The magic copper jacket.
Yeah, the magic copper jacket. I don't know what happened to that piece of copper either. It's driving me crazy.
It's probably the same one that killed JFK.
I used to shoot logs with my M&P 45 and go and dig the rounds out.
Oh, you actually go dig the rounds out, okay.
Yeah. But so I'd get to see all the cool ways the jacket flew off different rounds of 22 and 45. It's cool. I mean, you can't do that at a range. You can't do that at an indoor range. You can't test ballistics and rip apart a log with your gun.
No. And also remember too, Girk, here, it's winter and the ground is frozen.
Oh, it is cold as shit out there. Have you ever seen that video of them spinning the bullets on the fucking ice?
Oh, Mythbusters did that, yeah.
Well, no, it came because somebody put an actual video up on it. The bullet was fucking sitting there spinning in the ice. That shit is so bad.
Yeah, I know. That's where I said I saw it on Mythbusters. Otherwise, I never would have believed it.
What were they doing? Skipping bullets?
No, they shoot the bullet into the ice and it just spins right there. You can watch it spin in the ice.
Oh,
yeah, cool. It's just cool.
Yeah, that shit's cool as fuck, man.
I'm about to look it up.
Yeah, that is cool. You have to have it at the exact angle to get it to work, but...
Well, shit. You got a full mag, one of them is going to spin.
I hope so. But you say it's cold as fuck here? They actually did this on the news tonight. Green Bay, and the 52 coldest cities, and I'm using cities roughly here. Cities in this country, Green Bay is 17th on the list. 17th coldest.
What the fuck is number one? Anchorage, Alaska?
Barrow, Alaska is number one at negative 11
Alaska
degrees.
should have all the fucking spots.
Yeah. Barrow's number one. There you go. Anchorage is actually number 16, right behind Green Bay. They're half a degree colder than Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Hmm. Alaska should have every fucking spot. You should just not fucking go to Alaska.
Well, they're talking about with a certain population.
Oh. Okay.
The continental United States, if I remember correctly, the coldest place is International Falls, Minnesota.
That matter, right?
Yeah, the coldest continental United States is International Falls, Minnesota, which is right up along the.
You said Great
border.
International Falls?
Yeah, International Falls, Minnesota. It's right up against Canada.
I got international balls too.
Wisconsin has more colder cities than Minnesota, though. They talk about they had to get above a certain population.
They should make bullet dreidels for the holiday season.
Dreidel.
Bullet spinning was an AK or a 7.62. They
did a handgun round, I think, in Mythbusters.
Yeah,
this one's not from this country.
They use a handgun too.
I can't understand what they're saying.
Use like a 40, I think.
Let me turn it down. What's the 7.62 spinning?
Oh, that's dope, man.
Yeah, that is dope. I mean, that's the amazing part. It'll sit there and spin on top of the ice. It's
crazy. I wonder what happens if you touch it, though. Will it, like, fly off and...
Fuck no, it's just spinning.
In the leg or...
Forward energy.
Yeah, the part of the forward momentum that, would have been...
I mean, in the beginning, it's got to be spinning really fast.
Yeah. Yeah, first of all, it is spinning really fast, and then part of that forward momentum is also transferred to rotation when it hits the object. Because you're shooting it in on an angle.
There you go. Sweet.
It's not like you're shooting it straight down, you're shooting it at an angle, so some of that forward momentum is also helping to speed up the bullet's spin.
Yeah, I see the 40 cal one. I'm gonna watch that.
That really, it still pisses me off that they got rid of Cary Grant and...
But I have to convince my dad that I should shoot his pool. If it's frozen over when I'm up there.
By the way, did you hear that activists defy the new Washington gun law?
No. What'd they do? Like public sale?
Pretty much. They're showing that
I think they just like handed off guns, right? Or that's what they're supposed to do. Like a gun handoff.
Showing that the new gun law that they actually have put in place in Washington about, transferring of a gun to private party was unenforceable.
Yeah, it is.
Until they figure out each person that was at the rally and send them a citation or a warrant.
Yeah, I guess there's a videographer and citizen journalist laughing at liberals. And an unidentified accomplice made it a point to define law. They actually filmed a video of them. Thursday, they documented the sale and posted it on YouTube.
They documented a private sale?
Yeah, they documented it and then posted it on YouTube to show that the gun law was unenforceable.
Well, no, it ain't, because they just fucking got the evidence they need.
Actually, the journalist can, he does have his right.
Huh?
Journalist does have a right. Just
Have a right to what? Break the law?
no, not really technically break the law, but to video the law being broken.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
And
that's
he
what
does not have to give up his source to see that, so he doesn't actually have to comply. I can spend time in jail, etc. for...
But I'm saying if the police can identify the people that's selling the two parties selling the gun, then that's their evidence to enforce that law. You know what I mean?
They did not. Yeah, it did not show their faces.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, no. But I think the thing about the law is that fucks it up, and why it shouldn't have passed is that like handing somebody a gun is not transferring ownership. Transfer of a firearm is there. It means to transfer ownership, not like immediate possession. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
So I don't even see I don't know. I don't know. I heard Yankee talk about it, and he's not too bothered about the law, I guess.
Well, he doesn't care. He just go fill out the paperwork, or have the other person pay to fill out the paperwork. So he normally buys new guns and sells them as used.
Right. But that doesn't mean that he shouldn't be bothered by the law, because he's always the one preaching, saying that you gotta fight for everybody's gun rights and shit like that. All the laws.
Yeah, we had DB in here. He says, fuck Washington. We could have that argument again.
Shit, fuck Washington. I don't care. They don't gotta do that shit in Virginia.
I don't agree with it. I don't agree with Yankee on that subject either.
What you mean?
On his Washington, it's okay.
No, it's not fucking okay.
It's not okay.
He's the same motherfucker that's talking about other laws not being okay if it doesn't affect certain types of people. Just because it doesn't affect them don't mean that it's fucking okay.
Yeah, it's not an okay law, but the sad part is the majority of the citizenry agree with the law, and that's what, majority rules in this country.
Right, but you know what? I think
that's a problem.
I think that the thing is that most people believe in background checks, and they believe in background checks because of what they're supposed to be, what they're supposed to stand for. They don't really understand the way, they don't really understand that it's not stopping criminals.
You're exactly right. The normal law-abiding citizen thinks that, because the law is put into place, that people are going to follow that law.
Right. I don't even think it's necessarily that. I think that the thing about the background check is that, if you know nothing about guns or anything, and somebody say, well, hey, this background checks make sure a criminal can't buy a gun. Like, you don't know that criminals don't buy their guns the same way we buy our guns. You know what I mean? You don't know something. So, it's easy to convince someone of something like that,
Yeah. If I wanted a fully automatic
assault rifle?
Thank you. I was trying to put a modern sporting rifle, but if I wanted a fully automatic assault rifle and wanted to break the law in getting one, there are ways to go about it. If I wanted to do it the legal way, a lot harder to do.
Right, yeah, I think that, for the most part, most people, they don't care about the fine details of, what's going on. But our argument depends on those fine details. You know what I mean? Our side depends on those fine details. And, that's why it's really hard for us, to win as far as, when we're putting out information. Because we have to put out a lot more information. We can't just put out blanket statements that aren't fucking true or aren't the whole truth. You know what I mean? We gotta kind of play. It's kind of like cops versus the criminals, right? Mm-hmm. Excluding all this shit that's going on now. We're like the cops. We have to play by the rules. And the anti-gunners are like the criminals. They can do whatever the fuck they want, and people just believe it. You know what I mean? If gun owners and gun organizations get out there and start spewing out bullshit, pro-gun bullshit that's not true, that's gonna look really fucking bad on us. But when they do it, it doesn't fucking matter. You know what I mean?
Very true.
Well, they got the
So
media on their side.
it's a tough ass battle,
Media.
but you know,
The media and the administration's on their side, so
huh?
the media and the administration's on their side. The current administration.
Oh shit!
The current administration's
and
going to be.
they still can't get hardly anything done. So that just
No,
shows
they
you how
can't.
weak they are.
But even still, like, even though they can't really get anything done, anything passed, like, I big thing should be public opinion. You know, because that's their big thing. You know, what the public thinks, and that drives, you know, laws and different conversations and shit like that. Like, if I don't even need people to be. I don't care if someone's pro-gun or anti-gun. I would rather you be understanding and know, you know, what's going on. Right?
Yep. Oh, before I forget, I might have to mention this later too. Artisan Tony's is doing a chat, I guess, 8 Central tomorrow. It's on repealgunlaws.com, I think, is what he's doing it. But since we're talking about, you know, gun laws and stuff, there you go.
Cool.
Artisan Tony is doing a chat. Hopefully, it turns out well. I'll be watching the Badgers Buckeyes game.
I'm all about repealing gun laws.
Me too. But Big Ten championship for football's on the line, so I'm gonna be watching that. Hey, and it's Dan. Oh.
Okay, I got a question for the panel since it's 8 o'clock here on the East Coast, and that's when I was supposed to start anyway. Got a little echo.
It's Dan.
Oh, I got echo?
Yeah, maybe it might be Gert.
Hear like somebody washing dishes or something.
Yeah, it's Gert.
Oh, it's Gurk? Okay.
Yeah, man. Good.
Dan,
So,
I'm looking on my
how many
screen.
of you think that HK hates us?
Huh?
Heckler and Koch.
Oh, H&K?
Yep.
I hear shit about them, but I haven't really done any research to really see like their opinion for myself. But I hear they're not super pro-gun for civilians.
H&K hates consumers of their product if you aren't a military or law enforcement.
Well, because y'all aren't the ones spending all the big bucks.
Dano, you got an opinion?
Um,
Or you just don't-
for right now, I'm going to hold on to it so I formulate it a little bit more.
Right.
Yeah,
I've
from
actually-
everything I understand, I never owned an H&K. I've fired a couple. Everything I've heard about them, if something breaks on your gun, it's your fault, not H&K's fault.
Well, that seems legit.
So, I don't know the history of why H&K hates us, or even if they do, but this is what I ran into. I'm going to try to find the link in a minute, but it's basically an article that Recoil magazine published back in the day about the MP7, and the writers wrote something about the MP7 not fit for civilian use because it was too powerful and fully automatic and all this other crap.
Yeah, I remember that.
So there's an article on the truth about guns where HK comes back at them at Recoil magazine and slams Recoil magazine for making that statement. I'll try to find an article right now.
Well, you know, I will add my 2 cents on one thing, and it has to do with companies that are very financially successful. Is that it seems it's just a trend that I've noticed over my lifetime, and this is not scientific by any means, but the more successful companies tend to become, the less they seem to put towards customer service and actually caring about the end user, because it's more about they feel that they're the sole proprietors of that top shelf product, whether it's a car or whether it's a gun or whether it's something else, and they're beyond questioning of how dare you question the quality of their product. You ought to be glad we sold it to you.
So is this something you've experienced? You've had an HK?
Not an HK precisely, but I know that that company has been very successful, and that's where I'm drawing in the parallels with other companies. I want to say basically snooty. You know, we're too good for you, you know, little peasants. Although collectively, yeah, they make a lot of money off consumers. It's just individually that they don't. I mean, so when someone says, well, yeah, we don't spend all that much money, I would say you're wrong. Collectively, consumers spend a lot of money at HK. It's just that individually they don't.
Right.
But that's just my 2 cents.
Right. You right. You got a point, a little bit. But so what though? HK don't play that.
Well, it's just, you know, I mean, if you don't mind buying a product and supporting management that feels that way about you, well, then that's fine. Go ahead and buy an HK. But if you don't want to continue to support a company that treats its customers that way, there are plenty of other people out there with good companies and good products that are willing to take your money and give you a good product in return.
Yep, like Be Hurt. Send your money to me. I'll spend it very well. Most likely illegal guns.
So this is saying that that reputation was created in the 80s. It doesn't say why, but it says that H&K is trying to improve their less than stellar customer service reputation created in the 80s.
I mean, my perception, which isn't necessarily the truth, is sounds about when it happened. Or at least, you know, that's when they came on the scene in my consciousness. Then again, I'm 53 years old. I actually was buying guns in the 80s.
You old as shit.
Yeah. Well, I can only go off what I hear, but you know, this decade I've been hearing, you know, if they're trying to correct their customer service problems, they're not doing a very good job of it because they get snidey, rude customer service agents.
I don't think that they're not only trying to correct that, but they're also trying to get into the commercial market, because up until now their guns have been always for military and law enforcement, and then we get the leftovers and leftover designs or whatever. But they're starting to cater more to a concealed carry audience or a duty carry for like security or private whatever.
Well, when you the creator of the USP, you got the right to do that, man.
So they'll have versions for military and police, and then they'll have their civilian versions, which they're making extras of, obviously, because you can get these in all these different configurations, and that's what they do it for, the commercial market. The military and police specify what they want, and it's usually not the same as the features that you can find on the ones in the store, or there'll be more features on the ones in the stores. I don't know where I was really going with that topic, but
Well, I mean, it is in some ways an interesting topic, but because if you take even successful guns, you know, other gun makers. I mean, sometimes, like as an example, Ruger's successful, but in a different way. Bill Ruger because of his personal beliefs, whether it was, I don't know how close it got, but because of his feelings on magazine capacity and such, really diminished the potential of that company, of what it could have been.
You don't need more than 10 rounds.
Yeah, I mean, but his insistence on no gun needs more than 10, while other companies were passing them by and basically eating their lunch as far as other potential designs, magazine designs, things like that.
Oh, hell yeah.
They could have joined in on, but they lost the revenue because of it.
Because the P series is the shit, man.
I'm talking about when Bill Ruger was alive.
Oh, he wasn't alive when the P series was made?
I don't recall. I don't know the date of that manufacturer, or I can't remember the exact date of his death. He was around that time.
In the 80s, man.
85.
85? Yeah.
It might have been earlier than that. They might have had an earlier version. I don't know.
Right.
That's the model I know earliest, P85.
That's the earliest model I know of.
So he was around back then.
Mm-hmm. But I was just saying, like, that gun is the shit. Like, guns are shit, man.
I mean, as well as his philosophy still rules today, as far as, not all these written warnings all over the guns. I mean, they're not just color coded. They're just not tactile where you can feel them in the dark. They got words written them on, and when you see this erection, your gun is hot.
Yeah, I had an SR9C.
Ditto.
And I think potentially there's always going to be a market, I think, for guns with safeties, because there's always going to be either new gun owners or people that just prefer that for whatever reason. It's just that's not where the big bucks are, because most people don't necessarily gravitate towards that unless there's a special reason. And I'll give you an example of a special reason. A 1911. 1911 has a manual safety because that's the way it was designed back in 1911. So for historical purposes, if you want something that's new, but still, gives its tip of the hat to its original designer, it's going to have that passive safety. It's going to have that manual safety, for those reasons.
No, I mean, it's just the design of the gun.
Plus,
yeah, but it doesn't have to be there.
No, it does, the way the gun is designed, yeah.
Sometimes 1911 triggers can be like,
if you stick with that same design,
pound.
that exact design, the safety has to be there. You know what I mean? That's how the gun operates.
I mean, if you don't play with the trigger or have it super lightened up, I don't see any need for the safety, period.
You're right, because there's a backstrap safety.
Exactly.
I just realized.
I mean, once you put your hand on that grip, we're back to the safety is your brain.
A good Kydex holster.
Yeah,
Yep.
Condition zero.
Now, if somebody played with the trigger or made it a race gun, that's a different situation. But then again, that's not a carried gun. That's a competition gun or something like that.
Well, you're right. Yeah, absolutely right. I didn't even think about that. Damn, Dano always fucking correcting my smart ass ideas.
Shit.
Yeah, I've had this little conversation over at the PPX forum, the Walther forum, about people not wanting to carry the PPX because it doesn't have a trigger safety or a manual safety.
Well, that's just crazy. It's a double action.
It's a double action gun with a 6.5 pound trigger pull. It's not going to go off by itself in a quality holster.
Well, I'm going to tell you one thing. When I bought my first handgun, I kind of wanted a safety, but it really didn't matter because my first handgun was going to be a Glock 30, and I was looking at SIGs too, but they had decockers and they were hammer fired, but I ended up buying an M&P 45 compact flat dark earth that just happened to have a safety on it.
Yeah, my first two guns couldn't be more different from each other. I had a first gun was a Smith & Wesson Model 686 revolver, and then my second gun was an officer's Colt 45. And you know, neither one of them. This is in 1985, I think. You know, neither one of them were modern guns when I bought them, although they were brand new production. You know, they were both old designs.
Yeah.
Hold up. Dan, I thought you were like new to guns and shit.
No, I had a break from guns when I was with children.
You had a
No,
what?
the first I had a break from guns when I had children, young children.
Oh, okay.
No, but before I had children, I had all sorts of guns. I had shotguns, rifles, everything.
Right.
Well, not everything, but I mean, I had. No, as far as carry, I'm new.
Yeah, I know that. Well, you
Yeah.
know that.
Well, that's kind of obvious because you guys just got, you know, carry last year, so.
Right. But I've had pistols long before we've had carry.
So I think I was more nervous about chambering around in the beginning than safety, because I just thought from the beginning that my finger was my safety and my brain. That I heard that in between your ears thing way before I started shooting handguns. So it kind of stuck, and yeah, I didn't carry around in the chamber for like first few months,
Mm-hmm.
and then I did what everybody else did and just build up my confidence and got the right holster.
Yeah,
Right.
well,
And
you know,
ended up-
I got, you know, I'm going to go semi-autos here because I'm not going to count revolvers because I never planned revolvers for carry. But my first gun was the SR9C. And I got that as a range gun because I was still mulling over the implications of, you know, concealed carrying. So, you know, it was an affordable gun, you know, that, had a decent recoil. I like that about the gun. And then I decided to get my concealed carry. I sold off the SR9C and bought the 2022, which didn't have any safety, just to be cocker.
Yeah, I didn't use the safety on on my SR9C.
Yeah, the 9C, you know, I learned a lot about pistols that if there is a round in the chamber, it's not going to go bang unless you pull the trigger.
Yeah. But you know, to be understanding, I do understand why as far as concealed carry, people that are new to that are, at least at the beginning, I understand and I will grant them forgiveness as far as not putting a round in the chamber, because it takes time to, number one, just get used to the idea that you have a gun on you. Just that alone takes a while to psychologically process. And you only should move at the pace that you're comfortable with.
Yeah. One of the people on that Walther post was, you know, in his 60s and carry guns, and he just won't carry a gun that doesn't have a safety.
Yeah. Well, what I do question is people who never get over it. It's like, do you not have an open mind? I mean, because I understand going through a transition, whether that's, you know, 6 days, 6 weeks, whatever. But at some point, if you're not getting over it, it's like, is your mind open to new ideas? Or has it been closed for the past 40 years?
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm an older, so I can say that about older people.
We should do a survey. We should take a survey. How long have you been carrying, and how long have you been carrying with a safety?
I mean,
Dano, did you see my
situation might have been
I was just going to ask Dano real quick.
ahead.
Did you see my screen?
Yeah, the sites. $4, huh?
It cost me $19.56.
Man, how'd you pull that one off?
I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was perusing because I wanted to get the front, at least order the front sight today.
Uh-huh.
And I saw that Amazon had them, and then I looked, and I'm like, that can't be the correct price, but threw it in my cart and went through the process of checking out, and it was the right price, and half hour after I ordered, they bumped the price up to $79 at seller, so.
Exactly. Whoever keyed it in there keyed it in wrong.
Yeah,
But clearly you get the advantage of it.
Yeah, I've looked at my order deals, and they're preparing it for shipment, so...
Yep. Well, they have to. I mean, when they hand key an error, they're required to honor. I mean, otherwise it's false advertising.
Yeah, through Amazon, yes. And they can't, if they cancel my order, I'm going to be really pissed. And see how long they stay a seller on Amazon after that. But they still have them in stock.
You might want to take that screenshot down. I'll tell you when you're done. Why?
Oh, it's getting my name. I don't care.
Okay. And the last one, too.
Sorry, I clicked off you. I forget what I was going to say, but I had something very important, so got to CZ.
If they want to come and get me, well, go for it.
I carried one of my first duty before I got the upgraded version. I had the safety on, and I carried that for a few months with cocked and locked.
Mm-hmm.
But you can switch out the safety for a decocker yourself. It comes with the parts and stuff. So.
Well, that's nice that they made it switchable.
Yeah. But I tried the whole cock and lock like a 1911, and I wasn't really comfortable with it. And that's when I just started carrying Glock exclusively.
I don't have a problem carrying any different safety, no safety, whatever. It doesn't bother me.
I just don't want a safety to fail or switch on by accident. So I'd rather not have it on there.
I mean, if you know, which there's no way of knowing, that you're going to have time, because you can see. Let's say you're in a convenience store and you can see to the other end, so you got 5 seconds to get ready for it. Well, then you can take your time in getting ready. But what if you don't have time to get ready? That's the part that I have the issue with is I can't predict, number one, if I ever will need it, and if I ever do, what situation am I going to be in? The kind where I have to make instant action, instant thinking, or the time where I have 3 to 5 seconds to get ready?
Well, hold on, huh? I'm sorry, I'm lost like shit.
All I really meant is that I can't be psychic about if I'll need it and if so, how.
Yep.
Oh yeah, but I don't know. I'm just, like I've explained before in the chats, I can, even in tense situations, I kind of, realize that, this is what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, if I got my Glock, I know when I don't have a safety, or if I'm carrying my 1911 or my shield that had a safety, I know it has a safety. I don't know.
Yeah, well, for me, that's why I like, the option of double into single action, because it, allowed me the option if the situation persisted, I could actually make my first shot count a lot easier with a lighter trigger pull.
Mm-hmm.
So hold on, that gun is a double single?
No, this is double action only, but think of it more like a striker fired. It's more like a striker fired feel to it.
Feel? I'm not talking about feel. Like what? It is a double. Like, can you just keep pulling the trigger on it?
No.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. It's like a striker fire.
Yeah, it's striker fire. Okay.
It's like a striker fire, but it's hammer fired.
Oh, it's internal. It's an internal hammer.
It has a crazy trigger, yeah. It's not internal. It's like a flap on the back of the slide.
Yeah, it's a teeny tiny hammer.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
There's no mainspring going up the back of the grip, right. So it's the hammer action is all inside of the top of the frame and the slide. It's crazy.
But it's a single action hammer.
It says, what is it called?
It's a pre-cocked double action.
Pre-cocked.
Or partial cocked double action, sorry.
It's definitely not traditional double action. It's just
I mean, okay, so
it's a totally different kind of trigger system.
all
In
right,
my
if
opinion.
you rack the slide and pull the trigger, right? To pull the trigger again, do you have to rack the slide or can you pull the
Yep.
trigger?
They rack the slide.
It's single action.
So yeah, there's no
Single action.
second strike
All this,
capability.
yeah, all this stuff, all this crazy stuff they coming up with. That shit's single action. I don't care what they say. That's single action.
No, they call it. They
put a
call
big
it.
flap on the back of
Walther
it.
calls it a double action.
Alter can call it whatever the hell they want. It's a
It's
single.
based upon the working mechanics of the gun. Is why they call it double action. It's not single.
All right.
Remember, they're just down the street from H&K.
Yeah, pretty much. But there's the exploded view if you want to see how that.
This is the best gun. This is the best gun out right here.
Looks like a Glock to me.
I wish.
What is it?
What is that? A
I
cannon?
know it isn't.
Like,
MMP.
All right.
Is that Shield?
Mhm.
Yeah, I knew it was
That's
a
a-
shield. I was calling it a Glock on purpose.
It's loaded too. Watch me play with the trigger. It's a bullet in there too.
That's
I
crazy.
want to watch you do the body rub on it again.
That's pop.
Dang it!
And to prove it, there's a bullet right in there. See it?
Yeah, I see you don't have to.
We see you're reckless.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you've proven it.
I hope you locked in on him so when it does go bang, you got it on film.
Yeah. Well, it'll probably knock his camera off his laptop or whatever.
Camera's attached to the laptop on us.
They'll be
It's internal.
Okay.
MacBook. MacBook Life. I'm all about that MacBook Life.
You guys,
Yeah,
no, I got
it's
here.
different.
You guys started the chat before I got here, but did you guys talk today at all about the Eric Gardner situation?
No. We've been talking about random shit. That shit, you know, the thing about, okay, thing about that, they fucked up. The cops fucked up. There should be some type of charges. It's bullshit that he didn't get indicted or whatever. It's bullshit that he doesn't have to have no, like, he doesn't have to pay any type of responsibility for what the fuck happened. But it's the fucking NYPD mafia. So, you know, they never have to do any fucking things. Fucking NYPD, right? But the problem with the whole issue is that it's been an issue, and it's a big issue, but it's not the hugest fucking issue in the world. I mean, people have been going through this shit, all kinds of people, and black people do get it bad, and black people do get it fucking bad because of the shit they put on themselves. But that is no right to even treat someone like whatever before you know what's going on. You know what I mean? You can't just automatically assume that, you know, someone's a criminal or whatever, a gang member or whatever. And I myself, I believe in profiling because I think you have to fucking profile people, but that doesn't mean you have to act on what you get from profiling. That's the problem. That's the problem. They're acting on, you know, all of this shit, and it's just, you know, it's a big fucking problem. You know? And I see videos all day, every day of police just doing fucked up shit. I don't know the outcome, whether they got in trouble for it or not, but it's just something where, like, you know, that shit has to stop, man.
I think a couple of things that make this different. One is we have videotape. That's huge.
Yeah.
We have videotape.
Right.
Two is that the person that was victimized was clearly not attacking or threatening a law enforcement officer. That is also huge.
Yeah, most definitely.
And it's, you know, to me, I know I've had police officers in my family both by blood as well as by relation, and I absolutely know for a fact that it has, that at least I live in the middle of the country in a rural area, but there is a us and them mentality between police and non-police that has nothing to do with color. Is they will bust me just as fast as they'll bust anyone else because I'm not a cop.
Right.
I don't have a badge that I can flash that equals a get out of jail free card.
Right.
But if my buddy does, he can be drinking and driving, he can be doing just about anything, and they'll just send him on his way.
Yeah.
I know that world exists, and yeah, it absolutely happens to minorities, no doubt about that, but it happens to anybody that's not a cop.
You know what's funny? Up until a few months ago, before Ferguson or whatever, for the past like 3 years, I've been watching cop brutality videos or whatever, and it's all been white ladies and white dudes on tape getting beat by cops, or tased, or punched, or kicked, or whatever. So you can go on YouTube and just watch all of that. I mean,
Right.
there's no doubt that it was a media sensation for ratings or whatever, and
Right.
to create some kind of fucking political chaos.
Right. What the issue? What the issue? This where it is, because I hear a lot about, yes, it does happen to everybody. Let's just use white and black. It does happen to white people as much, if not more, than black people, right? But the thing is that you can't like blame us, because we're making a fuss about it. If I'm just using white people as an example. If white people made a big fuss about it,
Well, everybody's making a fuss about it. The white liberals,
but no,
like,
I mean,
people like Bill Maher brought it to the forefront for some reason. Everybody follows his lead, but he was the first liberal to come out on his television show on HBO and complain about the militarization of police. Even though the people in the Libertarian Party or on that side have been complaining about it for like the past 5 years, or maybe even longer.
well, I mean, as far as like the people actually themselves complain about it, because it's like you don't really hear a big outcry from white people complaining about, police brutality or protesting about it, or anything like that. You do hear from the black community. You know what I mean? But that's the thing. If everybody would get out there and try to do something about the issue that's happening to everybody, then it can fucking get resolved. It shouldn't just be the black people out there protesting. As a majority, I know some white people out there with them, whatever. But I'm just
I don't
saying.
know the whole details of the Oath Keepers. Well, who are they protecting out there? Everybody?
Is that once you take an oath, and I was in the military.
No, I understand the Oath Keepers. I'm saying they're there. They're in Ferguson. I don't know who they're protecting.
Oh, okay.
Supposedly they're protecting. I just haven't heard the whole story.
But there are three things that that I was brought up on that one should do to affect positive change within society. One is vote, and if you don't vote, you're not part of any possible positive change. You're part of the problem, not part of the solution.
Right.
Two is writing letters, or back in the day, or now emailing your elected officials, both state and federal, to affect positive change. And three is peaceful protest. And all those, the trifecta there, I was raised on was the tools we were given as civilians to affect positive change within our government. And I'm really starting to question for myself that I don't see these tools working well. I'm not saying I'm going to. I just demonstrated earlier this year. I demonstrate almost every year. I write letters to my congressman. I vote. I've voted since I was 18 every election. Okay, but I'm starting to question these tools in my toolbox don't seem to be very effective. And so I'm starting to question myself, and I just put a video out about an hour ago on this exact same subject, as far as at what point is this not enough?
Right. Well, the thing is that
Is what not enough? Voting?
No, not just voting, but we talked about that's one tool is voting. Another tool is writing letters to your congressman and that sort of thing. A third tool would be peaceful demonstration. Is these tools we have as civilians, when we're not getting positive results, at what point is it not enough to affect positive change?
well, Well, it's not enough when it isn't affecting positive change. That's the thing. That's why you see. That's why you're seeing these people, you know, destroying their own city, right? Because yes, it's fucked up, and they shouldn't be destroying their own shit. They shouldn't be destroying anything. But the thing is that with the methods and calm methods that we're using, and that they're using, aren't working. You know what I mean? So there comes a time when shit boils over, and you gotta just fucking wild the fuck out and fuck shit up for someone to fucking listen and see the issue that's that's going on. It's like fucking it's like if I was kept telling G Webs, you know, if G Webs was like my friend, I kept telling him, yeah, my fucking landlord's screwing me on my rent every month. You know what I mean? And he's like, yeah, whatever,
Yeah. But
you
then,
know, until I start fucking acting crazy and fucking up the fucking apartment building, you know what I mean? Then he like, oh shit, well it is a fucking problem. You know what I mean? I don't know.
okay, now let's use your example. Let me take your example one step further. Now
Right.
you're pissed at G Webs, who's your landlord. He's not listening to you, so you decide to go out and fuck up the auto parts store.
Right.
What does that have to do with him changing his policy in regards to your rent?
Right. It has absolutely nothing to do with it.
But that's what's happening.
Right. But
Sometimes.
the thing is,
Not
but the thing is that like it's like you get to a point where you're like all out of fucking options, and you got to do something. Yeah, what you're doing may not be it's probably not the best fucking thing. It probably isn't gonna change shit, but it's gonna bring some fucking attention to the fucking matter. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think it's all about.
Versus, now let me give you another example.
Did the
Now,
Boston Tea Party
what if you
accomplish a specific task, or did it bring attention to the plate?
Yeah. Now, what if you protested outside of his home versus burning down the auto parts store?
Yeah, that might, that might bring some attention also. But the thing is that it's obviously isn't drastic enough to change what's going on.
Well, I mean, we have city halls that can be protested outside of.
People do shit like that, and shit don't change. When shit don't change, you gotta do fucking crazy shit. I'm not saying that the shit they're doing is right. I'm just giving you a reason to why I think.
How about they're frustrated, and what they lack, delete those particular subset of whatever people in Ferguson, whether or not they be local or brought in. But I think what they lacked was a good leader, someone to get them together on the same track, and then do something, that would be more tolerated or recognized, like just sitting in the street.
Instead, they had agitators.
Well, I believe it's because we have outside influences that know with the absence of a strong leader, what you get is potential for chaos, and it's just too easy. How many countries in the planet want to see us topple, and how hard is it to send one or two people in there with a couple of bricks and bad intent? Anybody can get a mob going. That's the whole problem.
Right.
That's why they say mob mentality. When you've got a boiling pot, you throw one asshole in there whose job is to fuck it, to fuck everything, and all he has to do is just yell, "Go get him!" and then at the right time in the right place.
Well, I believe that's been a tactic for a long time. So,
well, I believe that the
I'm
media has us all told we're all tinfoil hats because there's no possibility that this country could ever be attacked. And we're so crazy to think that outside influences could be involved or whatever that we're not even allowed. I wouldn't be allowed to bring this up on a, whatever we're going to quote unquote real discussion.
Right. I mean, you're right. I mean, it's it's a fucked up situation for everybody, but I just think motherfuckers just got fed up and they didn't fucking know what to do.
You really want to know what the answer is? I'll tell you. Yankee's not here, so he can't yell at me. But remember Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, who, if you asked the man, he would say, my title is Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. What do we call him now? Dr. Martin Luther King. I think there's a lack of morality. There's a lack of just whatever you want to call whatever religion brings, like respect for others. When you take that morality out of there, I don't care what the actual religion might be. When you take the absence of a common tie with another human being, then you're just savage animals. You don't care. You're at the base level. You can do what you want. There's no repercussions. And if there's enough people like that, that's whatever. I believe that's probably a lot of it. I wonder how many of those people that were looting go to church on Sundays. You know what I'm saying?
So do you feel that it might be at least partially tied into the decline of religion in America?
No,
Regardless
I
of
think
what
I'm going to go back to it, and you can say I got a tinfoil hat all you want, but I think there's outside influences that want to see our country downfall. They know they can't take us on face to face. They can't take us on military to military, but they can fuck with us by manipulating this, manipulating that, and making it so that if the separation of church and state is fine, but that doesn't then go out and mean you can never say Christmas. You can't say this. You can't, oh, you're going to offend somebody if you say this. Well, that's not the way it was for the longest time, and I'm not saying it's good or bad, and I'm not trying to say the same way that nobody would say that the riots were right, but but they obviously were a representation of some frustration. Well, just because some religions are bad and some organized anything can be bad doesn't mean it's all bad. And there's no way you're going to tell me that if all those people's grandmas would have been there, that they would have done that shit. You know what I'm saying? They would not do that shit in front of their grandmas.
I'm currently reading a book written by two Chinese colonels in the 1990s. It may sound a little tinfoil hattish, but I don't think it is at all. And it kind of falls a little bit in line with what you said, Jeeves, in regards to how they break down or view warfare. One type of warfare is cultural warfare. And that's where you go in and you intentionally mess around with someone else's culture to let it literally corrode from within.
Yeah, definitely. And we've gone, and the worst part is we went out after, from Nam, actually from World War II on, we went out and trained everybody how to do that. So it's not even difficult to pick up the book and use it against us, especially when we've then become so pussy as a country that we don't think anything can hurt us, and we get offended if someone says stand up and do something for yourself. I shouldn't have to do that for myself. The government or some other entity should come along and provide that for me if I don't feel like doing it.
Right.
But the idea of literally polluting other people's culture for your own benefit, in this case it's the Chinese, is not a tinfoil hat. They've said it themselves.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying if I tried to say that to most general groups of people, they're going to say, oh, you're crazy.
Have you ever seen
you're coming out of left field.
Have you ever seen this interview with the ex-KGB agent? I think it was in the early 90s.
Yeah. Well, I think I know the one you're talking about, where he's like, here's a bunch of stuff that we decided to do a long time ago, and it's like basically everything that's been happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think the Soviets are stupid. I mean, they're over there throwing it up into the moon or whatever. They know what they're doing. They know the best way to screw with us, and all it took them was a little while to be savvy. Okay, didn't work head to head. Let's try a little bit more savvy.
Yep, there's definitely something to it.
Yep.
And I believe that even though Obama ain't necessarily a card-holding communist, he doesn't like the way things are going. So when you're people in charge, unfortunately, I don't want to call them in charge. I don't like that. I'm not going to give that to them. When the people that we have represented to represent us, or we have elected to represent us, don't like the position that they were elected to, then that's pretty bad. But I don't know. I was going to say something else about your vote thing. Of course, Cork does this sad news or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what the perfect answer is, but I don't want to put a qualifier on people that they need to vote in order to enjoy the country, because I'm just saying it doesn't say in the Bill of Rights or whatever the bill, whatever the first one was, the Bill of Rights, that you have the right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness if you vote or if you participate. So I understand that it's weak and it's lazy and there's no excuse to not participate. You might not have the right to bitch, but you definitely have the right to enjoy freedom just as much as everybody else. And I'm not saying that I'm trying to, encourage people to not vote. I believe voting is important, but I don't know, just throw that out there.
I was trying to share, the way that I was raised back in the 60s and early 70s, as far as it may not be written down, but this is what the intent I was told of things like voting for. Why do we vote? Why is it important? Things like that.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm just thinking that it would be a different country. Like right now, what do we have? About 50% of people vote if it's like a really big year, and then it's more like 30 something if it's
Unless
not a
you're
big year.
Wisconsin in this midterm election, we had 55% turnout.
Well, all right, not specifics, but just in general, we're not a country where 100% of the people are political, and I'm just saying it would be a different dynamic for sure. We can see your screen, by the way. That I don't know whose screen that is,
Mine.
but I don't know if you care that we're seeing your email, but whatever.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right. Freedom means the freedom not to vote, the freedom not to do anything, the freedom to go die off in the wilderness, if that's what you so choose, or the freedom to go off and be successful in the wilderness.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Or the freedom to just participate and enjoy all the freedoms and just not join in. But at the same time, like you say, I guess the downside of not joining in is that you don't really get a say.
Exactly.
If you join in, you just get whatever's on the buffet. You don't get to choose what's on the buffet.
Yeah, and what I was told when growing up is if you're not going to participate, then don't bitch. Don't bitch about.
That's the same way here. And I guess maybe I heard it as if you don't participate, then get out of line. But I hear what you're saying.
No. But if we're serving fish tonight and you didn't tell us what you wanted to eat, why are you complaining about the fish?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, now you tell us you have a fish allergy? Might have been nice when we asked what you want, what everybody wants.
Exactly.
Yeah, when we asked you what you wanted for, dinner at the wedding, and you selected fish. No, you don't want fish.
It's weird. I don't know. I don't know if I'm assuming you guys were in there. I don't keep track of who was in when we have these giant fights with Yankee, but he was saying that I was refusing to acknowledge that he's convinced that most people are anti-gun or whatever, or at least or pro-waiting period or whatever our deal was. And then I seen some guy on Facebook posted something that like 70% of people are pro-gun and anti-waiting lists, and I was like, hey, that's interesting. I doubt they prepared this little meme or whatever just because of our conversations. So that means someone else had that conversation, or it's been going on long enough that somebody decided to make a little thing for it. So
it's just from my talking to people, the gun shop when I go there, it seems to be among gun owners anyway a very hot topic issue. There are very few that are pro waiting.
I've never met any that are anywhere near even being acceptable with it, is what I'm saying. I mean, yeah, it's...
Yeah, well, I'm saying...
We're not talking about gun owners. We were fighting with Yankee about just regular people, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just talking, I think I talked to 2 different people that were like, I don't mind the 48-hour waiting period, but then they're under the assumption that bad guys are buying their guns through the system, and...
Yeah, through legal means. They're buying... rather than in the back alley.
Exactly.
I would mind it in his state. It's like it's not your property. You have to go through the state to transfer it to somebody else. It's ridiculous. It's the same in my state with handguns. It's a pain in the ass, and it's a big infringement, I think.
Well, we needed somebody who's not anti-gun to go through and look at all the data and compile the data. I know it's too much to ask. Actually, it's not any choice in it because that would be tough to make or find, but I think we need some pro-gun people to go dig through the data, good references, cite all the the links, and then post something so people can see the real. Well, I guess what I'm saying is like the guns that have been picked up as evidence, and then more importantly, what the crime was to go into evidence. Because I'm still convinced that if somebody's jaywalking on some city street and the cop stops him, just stop because he's black or whatever, pats him down, and now it's a gun crime. You know what I mean? I am convinced that the amount of guns that are in police evidence rooms, a portion of them are certainly from violence, but a whole crapload of them ain't, and I'm almost positive that those are being counted when they talk about these stats of the number of guns on the streets and that kind of shit.
Yeah, a good example of that.
Somebody really scrutinizing those numbers and potentially changing some minds with, very, very few guns are actually used in crime. Because we know the shooters are repeat shooters. It's not like we have one guy shoots somebody, goes to jail, and he's off the streets, and now somebody else picks up a gun and does the next shooting. This is somebody who shot somebody, didn't get caught, so then shoots somebody again. Didn't get caught, shoots somebody a third time maybe. Didn't get caught. Now now we got 3 gun crimes. but it's really one bad guy.
Yeah, I'll give you an example of that is, I think it was Oshkosh or somewhere a little bit south of me. There was a guy that used a 50 BMG in a standoff
Oshkosh.
with.
Oh, gosh.
Exactly, I think it was Oshkosh, to be honest with you. With a standoff with police, use a 50 BMG and put like a big hole in one of the vehicles.
Really? When? When was this? Because I haven't heard of very many.
It was either last year or this year. I can't remember exactly when. But nobody was harmed. Nobody was harmed. Just one vehicle was shot, and it was the only gun used in this situation. But they collected every other gun that he had legally, and they showed all those off.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Is being used in that crime when only one gun was used.
All you governors just hope that I never get into that situation.
Oh God!
Be like, an additional news crew had to come in with batteries and cameras in order to film the rest of.
They only got halfway through your Ring of Fire video, and then they ran out of battery life in the camera, and they still had to do the rest of it.
I'd be like, hey, do you mind giving me an extra copy of all that film so I can chop it up and make it into a YouTube video?
Yeah, but I'm just showing you the email about this, because I actually have a question for you. How to tell if do they actually make counterfeit Metro lights?
Yeah, you know how you tell? You buy them for $20 on eBay.
I didn't buy it for $20 on eBay. This is Amazon.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's probably a fake, but I guess it's possible it's not. I hope it ain't, but I'm guessing it is.
No, I would actually go through and show you, but then Dan will get mad at me for showing my real name again, so we won't do that. Well, yeah, they since I ordered that early this morning, they have changed the price back up. And they're listed under Amazon, and they're Amazon A to Z. So I'm pretty sure they're not counterfeit.
Maybe it was like a leftover Cyber Monday sale or some shit.
Maybe could have been a leftover, or
back.
Yeah. Now I start thinking about it. I'm confident Amazon's gonna make sure my $19.56 is safe.
Could be a factory second.
So what's the name of the place? What's this?
No, I don't think Meprolite puts out seconds.
Right. Reliable Values is actually the name of the Amazon store.
And did you check it? Did they have a website?
They do actually have a website.
How many times did the word airsoft appear in the introduction?
It has not appeared at all, but I'll actually go show you.
When it was recommended, was it recommending airsoft guns with it?
Don't use above 177 caliber.
There you go.
Well,
so there is a link to it.
You're only putting this on a Walther anyway, right?
Yep.
And it's a 9mm, so how can it be damaged? I guess if you dropped it.
Yep, there you go. They give you the item.
It certainly doesn't look like a Meprolite. It looks like little yellow circles instead of drilled out little test tubes full of gas, right?
Yep, it's the ML18802. That's the model number for the PPS or the PPX.
Go to it again. Go to the one you talking about.
Just look at the picture, though. It doesn't look like night sights. It looks like little yellow circles.
Yeah.
They try to add the glow effect to the picture.
Yeah, that's exact factory. That's a website. So if I went to Meprolite, that's actually what that's the exact same picture.
True dot like that.
Yeah.
All right.
I got a set right here. I don't know if you can see through the set.
Because mine look like little clear, like you're looking through the end of a test tube, basically, and then you see the glue around it and shit.
Yeah.
Mine look like little glass headlights.
Like this?
Yeah.
This is actually Meprolite's website.
There's the True Dot, if you can see it. I don't know.
True Dot?
True Dot.
Oh, yeah. So same as their pictures. So they have a shitty picture as well.
Yeah, as you can see, this is Meprolite's actual website. They just took the image right from Meprolite.
Why don't you just call them up and be like, I know Edge, and then they would have sent you whatever product you wanted.
And that's a whole zoom picture you give you, so they don't give you a big picture, but there you go. So that's it, and here's a seller. So
see how easy the
normally
PP9 sights go on? For the P99, I mean.
PPS, what they fit the PPX. And here
I
is
know, I'm
the
just
seller.
saying.
That's the same store?
Yeah.
The same
It's
store
Amazon.
selling all those other sites. Amazon. I mean, the same store selling the stuff isn't now. It's just all on Amazon. That's not a store,
Yeah.
really. You know that, right?
But here's the site, reliable values. So
They price all you get the sites for $20 or $19, and we're like, oh shit, changed it back.
Is the shipping $66 or something?
free shipping.
You know, somebody
Back to my email.
$66 handling fee.
Item subtotal
fired
20
over
for
that.
56.
Gift
Zero
card,
shipping.
$5.
Before tax,
Well,
after
Hodge
tax,
has
$5 gift
showed me
certificate.
stuff before, and I've seen stuff before on Amazon where they're priced wrong because they're just wrong. You know, it was supposed to be a 7 and it turned out to be a 2, and they'll match. You know, they'll deal the price. They'll do the price.
Yep, that's what I thought happened. You know, they just entered the wrong price because when I went back like a half hour later, they were marked at 77 something, 77.56. So I'll have to do some search, but oh well. And they've got a whole bunch of stuff up on here. Let's see. Oops, wrong one.
Whose chat are you copywriting out of here?
Yeah, they're 96.
Whose chat is getting the copyright violation for you doing all this browsing?
Mine.
No, I'm just kidding. I did a whole chat one time of just like acting like I was going to buy stuff on eBay, like putting a bunch of stuff into the cart kind of thing, and that never got hit.
Yeah, just looking at their past, you know, lifetime, they're 95%
That's
positive.
an idea
That's
for a
decent
chat
percent.
now. All right, you can have this one, Quark. So you still do chats. Start the chat with, I don't know, whatever amount of money, $1,000, $500, and then go to eBay or go to Amazon and like build a bug out bag or build a car kit or build some sort of thing. Build a first aid kit.
Oh,
That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
yeah, that would be very interesting. Oh, that reminds me. Do you hear Tony's doing a chat tomorrow night, right?
Yeah.
Tony,
Artisan thing. Artisan Tony.
Oh,
Yeah, Artisan Tony. And by the way, the sad news is by an alligator.
Build your ultimate apocalypse survival kit.
You could do it buy a gun too, or build a gun and go to like BCM or something where they have all the parts. Put it
Did
together.
you make a video like that where you built like horses, like BCM?
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying as a committee though, like there's input on it and whatever. I just
You
thought
think
that
you're
might
gonna
be an
get like
interesting way to pass
like
it
5
going.
or 6 people to agree what should be on an AR? Good luck.
Well, no, that's why it would take 5 or 6 hours, and it would look like a camel or whatever. It would come out with like mags sticking out of here and there, and 3 sights and 4 different kinds of stocks somehow.
What's that site that Ralph always talks about? It's got an app.
Gunstruction.
Gunstruction, yeah.
Yeah, that's just shit.
I demand a beta mag.
Live Gunstruction.
Okay, I think I had the links saved somewhere.
Take advice from the chat, the outside chat.
Or
So-
you could do it a different way and say everybody who shows up has to have built a rifle off of some site and then be able to show all the parts. And then anyway, whoever comes up with the best price or whatever wins or something.
what's Tony's chat supposed to be on?
That would be Keystone.
He made a new social type of website so that he can rally the troops to repeal gun laws. So it's called repealgunlaws.com.
Yeah, I joined that the other day.
Hey, did you get my message I sent?
I don't know where.
Yeah, go on channels.
Right now?
No, I sent it like yesterday. Just give me a yes or a no. Or no.
Are you on there now?
I was about to say or nah.
It's an actual message. It's not a IM.
Oh.
Marco, what's that hangout link to in the side?
Oh, my bad. That's all right. I thought it was a Gunstruction website. My bad.
Sweet.
Let me see here. Ta-da.
Yeah, of course. Don't worry about it.
I put it in there too. Oh shit! I'm not a mod today. I will
Thanks,
delete
man.
my old post.
Are you gonna build a gun
Who, me?
right now? Yeah.
I'm always building guns, bro.
I'm saying on construction.
Oh no, I've done it before though. So I mean, like, all it's
Can
really
you
good
go?
for is
Can
like
you
Be a
go
mod
silencing
every
plug
it.
it?
day. You don't get to be a mod every day.
You know what? Dude, let's do that. Hey, G-Webs, somebody fucking post up a fucking link to gun instructions on the homepage, and let's have a contest to who can build the best AR, and just have people vote on them.
Because once you're done on that page, you can link to your finished product or something.
I don't know if you can do that.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
imagine you can. Because in
But
the way you can save it or give it to your wife or whatever by mail and shit.
you can save the pictures of it too. So we should do a contest.
And they don't have absolutely everything, so you're still limited to what they have. And in some categories, they get super
They have a
limited.
lot of fucking shit, yo.
They have a lot of shit, but like when you go into like certain categories, they only have like 2. That's G-Webs is reading Rainbow.
That is Skynet telling me it's time to eat.
Okay, if you have Skynet telling you
just
when to
submitted.
eat, how do you trust it?
I just submitted this, my will to Skynet now. It's better once you just submit. So much easier once you submit.
Dude, if Skynet's trying to kill us all off, why would you trust it?
I just gave in. It'll kill me last.
Okay, because you're on its side and you're trying to convert us over, it'll kill you last.
I'm not so much trying to convert anybody as narc on as many people as I possibly can. So I'm just more like their human probe.
G-Webs, you would want to be a probe.
Hey, G-Webs, you see the trailer for the new Skynet movie?
Oh, probably not going to dig it. Bothers me when they don't go along the same timeline and it looks like they just made up their own fucking timeline again. So it's either going to be awesome or I'm going to hate it because I really like Terminator.
James Cameron's not doing
Skynet over first would allow it.
I mean, I don't know who made the first Terminator, but that one was like,
I think that's
blew
James
everything
Cameron.
away. It was a massive movie, so everything they do to screw that is almost.
It was one of the best movies of all time.
Well, that movie was flawed from the beginning. I mean,
What? Are you talking about Terminator or one of the other bullshit?
Who are you?
I'm saying the story was flawed.
No.
Are you
Perfect
kidding?
story.
I had a Woody for 2.5 hours watching that.
2.5 years, more like it.
I mean,
It's like
that
a
was a
big-
man.
The only thing
major
better
time
is when the
paradox.
second one, I think it was the second one, came out and she pumps that shotgun with one hand while she's walking through the factory.
She was hot.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
I
Back in the
often
day.
flip my bed over and do pull-ups.
Sarah Connor.
Yeah, so John Connor sends his best friend back that is actually his dad. So that's impossible right there.
Yeah, whenever the TV show ended, I got pissed because they ended it kind of shitty. So, as a project, I went through and tried to make my own Terminator timeline to tie everything together, and it's not possible. They're so different. It's messed up. I mean, there's similarities, like there's a Terminator and there's somebody named Sarah, but
Yeah.
man, they just ruin everything.
As
So-
much as I love sci-fi, and I always have, in the movies, I always know that I really have to, if I'm going to enjoy it, I have to check my brain before I walk in.
Yeah, but it just seems like such a wasted opportunity to, and then especially when the first 3 or 4 or whatever, the real ones all did share the same. They were trying to keep the same story going, right?
Right?
It's so frustrating when they're like going to do something else. Why can't they just add to it? And I know everybody likes to hate Star Wars for whatever reason, but who the hell cannot appreciate literally a storyline that you can watch for what now 9 movies, or is it just 6 movies? Whatever, but. All those Clone Wars and stuff. I mean, even if it's not great, there's a lot of it, and it all follows the same timeline. But if they're going to do a lot of them and then they're just all separate, well then, I don't know. It's just frustrating because I did.
I
like
will
the
agree with
story.
you there. I would rather watch.
It's like Lord of the Rings. How many were there? There were 9 of them.
Well,
right?
and that all ties together, I bet, because
Yeah.
that guy was creating a universe or whatever he
Yeah,
called
he
it.
did it
Yeah.
all.
It's like it's not like it didn't cost them any more to use the same damn thing, and it's not like there wasn't enough possibility to say like, oh, time loop, or they could have added. There's all kinds of room they could have gone to. It wasn't like they used up the Terminator universe and they had to start over. They just felt like starting over.
Well, if you don't like it, you should just buy the rights to it and make it your own.
No, I'll bitch about it on the internet. I'll teach them.
That's
Or
what
you can
Literally
move.
how every
Move.
problem gets solved. If you cry about it on the internet enough, somebody will fix it for you.
you get fans demanding these things on the internet, so then
It's
the
fans'
movie,
moms that make things happen. If you get the moms involved.
then the
You
movie
would-
studios
actually-
create it, and then they bitch about what they asked for.
See, but if I'm not so interested, like Spider-Man, like take your leave Spider-Man. So when they did those new ones with this new guy, at first I was like lame, and then I got into it because I liked the new story. I don't like it more or less, but it's different, and it's because of the way they made Peter Parker different or whatever. He's actually like curious and smart instead of just being a character, like the Toby guy. I can see those both holding weight, but I just don't care about the story, so I don't care if they start that one 100 times. And I don't know any of his villains or any of that shit. So Terminator, I just know so much because I don't know how many times. They can't do stuff to us. When we had VCRs and we lived in a time when we lived with televisions and not being able to watch things twice, then they gave us VCRs and we could pretty much watch our favorite shit till there's no way that we know every single moment of it. Right, and then they gave us so much shit that there's no way to keep up with all the stuff that's out there. So they take, we're unique, at least whatever generation I am with the VCRs, we're unique, I think, that we actually give a damn about what we've seen because we've seen every single moment of it. And can't imagine kids these days would give a damn about anything to watch it 1,000 times. You know what I mean? Because they've got a million other things to watch. They would only watch something twice, maybe.
Yeah, move on.
Yeah, see something new. And that's why they don't have any tradition or give a shit. They're also not, they don't understand what tradition is because they don't understand what consistency is or what longevity is. It's completely foreign to them.
You're not necessarily
Damn.
wrong, but you're sounding old.
Well, you've also got to think about this. There are some movies that people watch over and over and over again. Yeah, no.
But
it's
are there
not.
any more, though? That was our generation.
Yeah. No. The Big Lebowski. People watch that movie again and again and again because I'm honestly not really sure why. Like, I think it's pretty cool or whatever, but there are a bunch of people my age and a little older and a little younger that watch that movie like every year.
Well, sure, but I still say those are
no,
people
I mean
that
not like
learned
once
it
a
on
year.
the
Like
VCR.
it's like there's a specific day or like a specific Monday every year, and that day every year they watch The Big Lebowski. I don't understand it, but they do it.
No, they probably say something in the movie about someday.
Possibly.
Dude, what are you cooking for? You ain't getting paid to do that shit.
Huh?
Hey, can you lock it on him so that we can see his grease fire as it happens?
No, it's not a grease fire, bro. It's because I put some freshly washed tongs in the thing and I had a little bit of wood on it. Yeah, bro.
Is that a giant glass bowl of mayonnaise? Oh no, it was just close up.
Breading.
Hey, it's cooking with Girk.
Yeah, the second time. Me and Court did a whole chat.
Here, let me tell you how you're
World's least
cooking.
informative.
First off, you're using the wrong kind of pot.
First of all your pots and pans match.
Yes, because my girlfriend wanted a red kitchen.
That's
what the
how
fuck?
you know.
What kind of bachelor are you?
That's how you know he's not a good cook. All his shit matches.
Girk is on a short leash. I don't know why you thought he was a bachelor. This Bama got like 3 feet in either direction.
Hey, look, I'm a fucking awesome cook. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, Girth's girlfriend has made an appearance on these chats, and he is dating way out of his league.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I should come over there and date you to give you this big mandingo.
I'm way out of your league.
She put that Prince Albert on him personally.
She's super nice to me all the time.
What are you cooking, Joe?
Cheers, man. I'm about to saute up this, mix it with some greens.
Chicken.
I found this shit in the cabinet, so I'm about to make that shit. And some chicken. And I want some cheese grits just because that's just the shit I like. So
Hey,
it's
cheese
not,
grits is
I seen
awesome.
something on Facebook, and it said like food that we eat that Europe doesn't like, and grits was on there.
really?
I thought grits came from Europe.
And so is
Fuck you.
peanut butter.
Yeah, peanut butter was on there. Well, I say screw them, then that's more for us, because I always go to the store and I'm like, you ever think about you go to this nut aisle in the store and you look at all the different kind of peanuts, like different brands of peanuts, and that's like, I don't know how many stores there are in Tucson, but every single store is going to have at least that many peanuts or more. And then that's just Tucson, and there's every single state and every single city and every single convenience store's got all these peanuts. Like, how many fields of peanuts are there in this country? So I'm down
That's
with the Europeans not eating any of them. More for us.
Jimmy
But
Carter
yeah,
will know.
They eat snails.
yeah, they eat gross stuff, and all our stuff was like, well,
Okay, escargot is really not that bad.
I don't care.
bugs are bad.
It's not the greatest.
Snails aren't bugs. They're crustaceans.
Are they? No, they're not. They're different.
They're a slug.
Crustaceans
they're-
have hinged exoskeletons.
They're crustaceans.
Did you ever get the slime on you from a slug? You can't even like wash it off. It's
I'm
weird
sure you
as
could
shit.
put-
Well, the ones
That's
they
fine.
eat are special ones, I think. Not the most
Yes,
slimy
they
ones.
are.
Oh,
Hey, Moon, I get that slime on me about 2-3 times a week, but it's natural.
that's
Now,
nice.
the way you're cooking that chicken, it's going to have too much fat in it, so...
And also, they eat frog legs, which I've tried frog legs as well. And ugh.
Dude,
Really?
frog legs
You
is
like
such a
snails,
thing.
but not frogs?
I'm not impressed with the frog legs either. I've never had escargot, but I don't think I've had good frog legs either.
Escargot just tastes like eating a sautéed mushroom, in my opinion.
Kinda, yeah.
Oh,
They're probably the
yeah.
main.
I don't know why you wouldn't like it.
They're probably the
Because
main
it's a snail,
consumer.
because it's gross, and it's got sand in it, so you know you're eating snail poop.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my question. What's so gross about eating a snail that's not gross about eating, I don't know, like a cow or a chicken? Like, think about the first guy.
I'm brainwashed to eat a cow and a chicken, and now I'm fucking
Well, I'm
slimy
not gonna-
piece of
Think
shit.
about the first
So you're
guy
admitting
to
that
walk
you're not
over
free
to.
then?
Think about the first guy to walk
Sure.
over to a cow.
I'm
who
not
has a
food
cow,
free.
and just reach over on her udder and just squeeze all that gross, like, bodily fluid out of her udder and think, man, I want to drink that.
Well, that's
here-
just because
here's a
people
little
grow
bit
up doing the
more.
same thing out of their mom, so that's just monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah, here's a big
I
thing
think
in
we're
the States.
smart and we're
especially-
we're
Between a
resourceful.
snail and a catfish and some of these other things are that they go around eating all the filth and poop from other things, and that's all they are made up of. Is
What do you
poop
think
from other
chickens
things.
eat? What do you
Chickens in
think
the
chickens
wild
eat?
eat bugs and
Chickens
stuff.
eat poop. They eat stuff out of their own poop.
No,
chickens
chickens
are
today,
grown.
the chickens that you eat at the store or at McDonald's
Well,
eat
no, the
cow
chickens-
shit and sawdust. Look it up. They
Yeah,
don't.
no,
There's not
I
enough protein
guarantee
on
it.
the planet. They eat cow shit, and cows eat chicken shit, and they'd be eating their own shit if it was USDA approved, but it's not.
Yeah, and I want to
Gotta
say
eat different
this.
DNA shit.
Raw oysters,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
if anybody finds those appetizing, I don't get it, but raw oysters, yeah. It's like eating a snot.
Yeah.
Like oysters Rockefeller.
Is that raw? I thought that was like hot sauce or something on it.
What's wrong with raw oysters, man? Oysters is shit.
They're slimy.
Oysters are the shit. It's
They're
an
snotty.
aphrodisiac.
I don't like seafood.
Get some mussels and some clams and fucking cook those up in the pan.
Oh, but look at the difference too. Those guys are over where the ocean's right there. So if they're
Yeah.
eating something like that, it's probably fresh. If you're eating something like that, it's either from gross ass Great Lakes or some
Sure.
freezer, right?
You have a
The
Chesapeake
Great
Bay,
Lakes
bro.
aren't gross
What are you
ass, at
talking
least not
about?
Well,
Michigan.
mine should come fairly fresh. I'm right next to Jersey. On the
Dude,
on
you
the
might
border.
think that the Great Lakes ain't, but compared to the ocean, you've got pretty much every major city in the U.S. from back in the old dirty days sitting on the Great Lakes. So they're got to be filthier
You
than
mean
the
like
ocean.
compared to the middle of the ocean, or like the ocean by New Jersey?
Well, the ocean has a
like-
current and it mixes around. I figure it's
If
less
it's
polluted than
caught in
the
a
Great Lakes.
lake, if it's caught in a lake, is it still seafood?
Back in the late 60s or early 70s,
Or is it lake food?
there's a river off of
I would
Cleveland,
vote lake food.
off of Lake Erie. It caught
Water food.
fire.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah, for like
Lake
decades, right?
Erie.
That's why they call Cleveland the mistake on the lake.
You know, it's kind of eerie how an entire lake caught on fire once.
Yeah, but that's Lake Erie. That's near, you know.
Yeah, and I'm thinking it's aptly
You know,
named.
you ever
Kinda
have fish
eerie
on
how it
Lake
caught on fire.
Superior? You know, Michigan's not so bad. If you
Why
never
do
had
they
lake
call it
perch
Michigan?
before.
Michigan's only barely touching it. It should be called Lake Wisconsin.
Actually, Michigan covers more of Lake Michigan than
Does
Wisconsin.
it wrap up around the top?
Yep.
Oh,
Thanks to the fucking UP, which should be part of Wisconsin and not Michigan.
well, they
And the
stole
bottom
that from
of
you.
Lake Michigan is Illinois.
No, they didn't steal it from
Yeah,
us.
but that's only that's just the tip, Dano. Just the tip.
Yeah.
Hey, that's
Just
all
so
you
you
need.
know, Michigan was awarded the Upper Peninsula when they lost Toledo, Ohio. So basically, Ohio and Michigan were gonna go to war over Toledo.
What y'all should have done back, or what they should have done back in the day, is just take a big chunk of Canada and leave that part, the peninsula, to Wisconsin.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know why we don't own both sides of that dam or the Niagara Falls and stuff.
Yeah.
As long as
Never had lake perch. Lake perch is fucking awesome.
the Canadians pretty much do what we tell them to, so does it really matter?
They won't get rid of Bob, so yes,
yeah,
they don't.
they
plan
let
on
the people
listening
speak
to us.
French and shit up there. That's the part that bugs me.
That's Quebec. As far as I know, as far as
tolerated.
I'm concerned, they can give that to France.
I would love to see somebody like get, I don't know, like you know how you see like those pictures and stuff where they're like, "This is fucking America. Why do I have to speak? Why do I have to press 1 for English?" I would love to see those where it's like, "This is fucking Canada. Why do I have to press more than 1 or 0? Like why do I
Why
have
do
to
all
press
our
2?"
signs have to be
Oh,
in
they have
both
big fights
French
about French
and
up there, don't they?
And I
Eh?
figured they all just agreed on French, like you could do either or. It's
Oh,
just
no.
that nobody
No,
outside of
no. They
Quebec
get like
does.
arrested if they use English on their signs and stuff. They get like really
Yeah.
mad about it, I guess.
Quebec.
That has to be in
Sounds
both
like
English
Louisiana.
and French.
Well, that sounds like a much more democratic Louisiana, and it sounds awful.
About every 20 years, Quebec comes up with a referendum to secede from Canada.
They should let them go.
Join France.
And it is because it's not just the language, but it's also the culture. I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand.
Yep.
I mean, I'm honestly of the opinion it's like we no longer live in a world where a country's power is based on how much land area it owns. It's based in like your culture and it's based in your economics and stuff like that. And if, frankly, if an entire state wants to leave, I think they should let them.
Can we get rid of California?
So if
I'd definitely say cut off the bottom third of California and let it fall into the ocean.
So if as an example, if Louisiana wanted to succeed, you would say fine, even though they could literally shut down the entire Mississippi river traffic going right up into the Great Lakes.
You do realize that if California secedes, they would be like the 8th biggest economy in the world.
No. Just the bottom third of California, like all the LA area, all of that stuff.
Oh, so you want to keep San Francisco and Oakland and Sacramento? That's great.
I mean, I'm just saying,
No,
like,
you want to keep the part that's between like those cities on the coast and Arizona and Nevada, because that's where all the food comes
oh yeah, okay, fine.
Yep.
The western.
We just want to get rid of the coast.
25%. Yeah.
I should say we
Get
wall
rid of
off the cities and give us the 57 states Obama wants.
Seriously though,
LA,
real talk.
San
Where are the other
Francisco.
7 states? My map.
LA, San Francisco, Seattle, that's 3. Chicago, Dallas, that's 5.
DC.
Madison.
New York, that's 2.
New York, Miami, so maybe take back Dallas, give them Miami. But you know what I'm saying? We'll figure out
Oh
something.
yeah, no, I would
They
definitely
want
keep
Austin,
Dallas.
actually.
WKRP in
I would
Cincinnati
keep Dallas and toss out
is a
Austin.
state.
Give them Madison and Milwaukee. I'll leave both of those out of mine. I could live without those.
But no, I would love to see the coast of California become its own country and then have to support itself on all the tariffs and taxes it's going to have to pay on importing all of its water and all of its food and exporting all of its trash and all of its waste. It's literally a resource black hole.
But there also are ports to the whole
Exactly.
Asia, so all they would do is say, hey, we're not going to charge you more, just bring us water and take our garbage away.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we keep Oregon and Washington.
And
They got
if
ports.
China decides to just ship them good, valuable resources and in return only get zero taxes and trash, then that's their fault, not ours. We would still have ports, like Cork said, like in Washington and Oregon.
That's I think isn't our biggest port in one of those two states anyway for the West Coast? It's not in California.
No, it's California. It's got to be.
Well, there might be a
Weather.
couple of really big ones. Like there might be a couple of like second, third, and fourth biggest ports all right next to each other, so they're kind of competing.
Nah.
And then like up in the
New
north,
York's the
there's only
biggest.
one.
It goes New York, L.A., Baltimore, and then I really don't care after that.
You think New York is a
Louisiana,
bigger port
Scott.
than L.A.?
Yeah. Yeah.
How? Just
Look at
Europe
this-
instead of all Asia?
Yeah, you
You
forget
also got Africa.
the
You also got everyone. You also got everything that
No,
comes
that
through
goes
South
to Florida.
America.
Florida. They're not going all the
Florida's
way to
got
New
a big
York.
port.
Because it's cheaper. It's cheaper to freight it on a shipping
it probably
container.
is, yeah.
Up,
Than
yeah,
go on
than
the
actually
road, yeah.
truck it all the way up. So it depends where it's going, and the city is twice as big.
Well,
So,
shit,
you
it
know
would be
how
cheaper
the-
to put it on a train than a ship.
You know how they got that
No,
channel
it's not.
underneath the English Channel? They should take that technology and run it from like Canada all the way down through like underneath the Mississippi or something, down through Mexico, across Panama Canal, down in bottom and down all the way down to Venezuela. And then
Listen,
maybe two of them, one for each way. And then we could constantly just scoot goods and services and people back and forth underneath the ground. We just own this whole hemisphere.
and just
United
so
States
you
of
know,
this fucking
Marco is
hemisphere,
correct.
is what I would call
It's cheaper by ship.
Until
It's-
we make a giant subway underground.
No, it's just the massive amount a ship can actually move. A train cannot, transport as much as a ship can. That's why it
If
makes
that
it
was the
cheaper.
case, like they wouldn't have a single ship on the Great Lakes. Everything would just be trained around the lakes.
Yep.
Well, no, in a straight line.
Trained over the
distance.
lakes or under it. One of my
Iron
subways.
ore just from Lake Superior. They ship it out by ship because it would just train would be running non-stop to keep up with just the sheer amount of iron ore that's going out.
Well, then in that case, ships have to be dirt fucking cheap to ship things because trains are extremely affordable.
They are, but ships are cheaper. It's as
Nah,
if ships
trains
are
are only
unlimited.
affordable because
I'm
they're
not
supplemented
saying-
by the government.
I'm not saying that ships aren't cheaper. I'm just saying I have a pretty good idea about how cheap train freight is. And if you guys are saying that ship freight is even cheaper, then it's got to be unbelievably affordable. Like it's got to be crazy.
It is, because then think about it. They would have never bothered to build the Panama Canal. They would have just built a railroad right through Central America.
Well, they kind of built that before they had like the diesel electric trains they have now. That was back when like when train freight was expensive because it was the only overland shipping method besides oxen and carts.
Now, ship is a lot slower. That's the difference between ship and train.
Oh, trains are pretty fucking slow sometimes.
And not nearly as slow as a ship is, but...
Well, I mean,
What are you
yeah,
talking
sure,
about?
if a ship leaves China. What? Trains
You
are
can't
slow?
even. They can't even. There's not a train from like China to L.A. So
That-
that's
Oh,
not a
no.
comparison.
I
And there's-
never
obviously
said
it's
there was.
no. Cork's saying that a ship is slower than a train. I don't believe so because you never get them in a race with each other. They're doing two different things. The boat can go faster, I think, than a train is what I'm getting.
No, trains have more of
Actually, no.
a direct line, which is also an advantage for trains, but just the
You
sheer
know.
amount that ships can hold, it's more viable to ship a boat, a ship full of, I'm using iron ore example here, than it is to ship it via train.
The amount of time it would take.
What
a
is
ship
the
to
minimum
travel-
wage of these train workers?
I have no idea, but they can haul hundreds of millions of pounds if not tens of thousands of tons of freight, and have
Dude, are
like 3 guys do it.
You have any idea how big of a super tanker is?
I understand. Ships are fucking huge. It's crazy. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that trains are also really cheap.
Dirk, can you fry
I
in
have,
with a rubber spat with a rubber tipped tong?
yeah, dude, it's a non-stick pan. If you use metal tongs, you'll scratch all the non-stick off.
Yeah, but he's gonna melt them, isn't he?
No, those things are rated up to at least 400 degrees before they even start to get soft.
Oh,
If he was like stir frying in like a wok that's on top of blowtorch, you might have
why
a
is he putting
problem.
spinach on there?
It's a Glock. It's a Glock.
It's
polymer
collard
tong.
greens or something. Maybe I have no idea what he's doing.
It's made from Glock
Oh.
polymer, so it'll last forever.
Dirk, what are you making right there, by the way?
I'm old. My tongs were always metal. It looked like
I
he
guess.
took spinach and
Yeah.
stuck it in some onions. A shit ton of salt.
Looks like he's got some bell peppers in there too with that that yellow color.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Looks good to me. I'd eat it. I mean, if somebody else made it. He made it. I don't want to eat it.
Anybody eat kale?
No.
Gotta talk to Yankee.
Is that like seaweed?
I don't know. I was suckered into buying some, and it's like weeds. I don't know what you're supposed to do with it. I certainly ain't gonna just eat it. It's like freaking dandelion.
Sauteing greens with peppers and onions.
Ah, I knew it was greens. Anybody else here eat greens?
No.
I hadn't had greens until Thanksgiving with my fiance's family, and I'm really surprised that I liked it. I thought it was really good.
It's just like eating spinach, no?
Oh no!
Like
Like
cooked
I'm not a big fan of spinach. Well, I mean, if you cook spinach like cooked greens, yeah, I'd eat it. But it's like kind of buttery, and it really doesn't taste like eating a vegetable. I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe, but I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, that's what they told me. Blend it with a shake, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't have any frozen fruit, so I guess I have to go buy frozen fruit now. So now it's a whole big ordeal.
Just throw some in a chocolate shake from McDonald's.
Use it as garnish. Like I've been using this kale as a garnish on my chocolate shakes for weeks. Still
Nothing's
bad.
happened.
So, Jewebs, how's the diet going?
I don't know. Who's on a diet? I just changed my eating habits. Doesn't mean I'm on a diet.
Well, you can call it whatever you want. Your new diet change. How's your new diet change going then?
My
He's-
eating habits is going fine.
He's on one of those stealth diets. He doesn't want to call it a diet because then he'll feel like he's in denial. But if he's
No,
I'm not dieting. I almost died, and I decided I might as well not continue to almost die. So
You
I'm
almost
just
died?
eating healthier. Yeah.
Shit, what happened?
I don't know. Just died.
CPR came in handy. You know that mouth to mouth.
No, I just had a rude
Please
awakening.
tell me that good guy gave you mouth to mouth to save your life. That would literally make my year.
I mean, my only question: are you talking about something like very recently, or?
No, when I went to that IPSC match or whatever, I was like, oh, well, I'm too fat. I can't even walk around anymore.
Oh.
So dieting implies you're like, oh, I don't like my freaking like pant size or whatever. I'm gonna
Right.
diet. I've just changed my eating habits.
Which is, you could be on a diet of Cheetos and Mountain Dew. It's still a diet.
When I think of diet, I think of failure.
Yeah, well, diet as a verb means when you said it, you said, how is your diet going? As if I have changed my habits in order to, whatever.
I mean, it could be a
I
simple
just-
portion
Your
control.
food change diet.
You
I
changed
just want to
your
cut in real fast and say that Beaker just double dipped a sampling fork into those greens on camera in front of everybody.
Oh my god.
That's how he does it at, you're supposed to taste your food as you're prepping. If you have
No,
enough
you're
salt
supposed to dip it in and taste it, and then he dipped it back in after it just been in his mouth. Yeah, that fork right there. That's the
Double
third
dip?
time that thing's been in there.
Oh, it's just in his mouth right there.
Look at him dip. He's dipping again, and he's dipping again, and he's dipping again.
And it shouldn't matter.
His
It's,
10th dip.
yeah,
Are
and
you OCD?
I can dip as many motherfucking times I want. I
He's
cook it.
cooking the germs
I'm
out.
just saying,
They're gonna
when he's-
die.
When
he's
doing
not
it now,
serving this. Yeah, he's not serving this to anybody but who he's already
I'm
changed
just
by
saying,
food.
it
But-
looks like it was habit,
My girl
and I'm
must eat.
afraid since he works in, well, like worked at least at one point, like in food service that we've seen.
Jacob, you're just OCD.
Just like fucking you commenting on my
Don't
fucking vape picture.
I double dip all the time, but I'm just preparing food for myself. So
Kirk, you gotta admit that was a funny comment, though.
That was funny as shit.
Yeah, you're damn right. That's
I think every staircase should have one of these at the top of it.
Yeah. That's funny.
Does it have a recommended maximum weight?
I'm guessing
calling
anybody can
everybody
slide down that shit.
Well, I just wondered, like, if you have older kids, could they also enjoy it?
Yeah, you got.
Like,
Probably got to trip them and toss them down. Cause
I mean, if I went down that thing, I'd have to
slide
be
down
crouching
stairs.
for about a good month. Try to recuperate.
Oh shit, you're gonna make them noodles in that flat pan? It's cooking wrong.
Oh, by the way, I do have a question. How much would be a reasonable price just to change your rear sights on a firearm from like a gunsmith? Just so I have an idea.
Nothing. Should cost nothing, because that's just like an hour, and if you have a good relationship with your gun shop, they'll do that for you. It's a
Exactly.
practice.
What G-Web said is
Otherwise, $35, I guess.
some places
35,
will charge you a minimum of 1 hour's labor, even though it might only take them 15 minutes. They got that 1 hour minimum bullshit.
Oh, they have to. Yeah, they have to, though, to be real. I mean, yeah, they have to.
Well, no, I understand that, but usually, if you've bought the gun from them, they'll say,
And
well,
then there should be no charge, right? Or the site even, just even the site, because it's
Right.
literally a moment of their time, probably. Unless it's an XD, then fuck
Yeah.
you have to send it back to the
I mean,
factory.
Or a car. They have trouble with them too.
I mean,
Sometimes,
it took me
yeah.
less than 15 minutes to change my sights, and it was the first time I ever did it.
yeah, and you're not particularly mechanically, talented.
Yeah,
I buy my sights from my Ranges Pro Shop, and they install them for free just because I bought them from them. So.
yeah, I would be more than happy to do that at my gun shop. The one I've got a good relationship with is though does not have a gunsmith.
Well,
You
then
don't need a gunsmith, you just need the pusher tool. I mean,
Yeah, I need the pusher tool.
yeah, I mean, it's not a gunsmith activity. It's the right tool type thing.
Yeah, and I'm even willing to pay my gun shop because I have no problem with doing
What
that.
do they use to get the rear sight off of the XD? They use like a hydraulic kind of press, don't they?
yeah, Cork, you got a Dremel? What the hell? Just
I've got a
regular.
Dremel. I'm not gonna cut it out.
Oh, why not? What the hell? It's not like you're gonna reuse it. You just want to put a new one in there. So cut the old one up with a Dremel. And then you can use a hammer and a
Oh yeah, it's
screwdriver.
plastic.
Hang
Just
it out.
melt it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
plastic.
Melt it out.
Oh hell yeah, plastic just melted out. Hell yeah. Got a lighter?
Yeah, but then I still have to get the new one in.
Yeah. Well, you can just bang that in with a little hammer and a
Yeah,
punch.
that's all you want to do is take a brand new slide and bang it with a hammer.
Oh what?
That's
a
real.
fucking-
That's real
wait,
bright.
wait, this isn't a gun that's actually made out of steel, right? Oh, okay, I
The
understand that.
slide is, yes, it is.
Well, yeah, but it's really thin, light.
But you don't want to mar up the finish on a brand new gun for no reason
Here's what
unless
the
you're a
finish- you're like
tactical response taking a class.
Yeah, Dan.
Yeah,
are you
and
like
these
the guy-
are night
you're like
sights
the guy
with
who
training
buys a
tubes
pickup
inside.
truck, doesn't bother to get the coated box or anything like that, and then goes, "Oh, be careful with that plywood. You might scratch the paint." And it's like, it's a fucking truck, dude. If you didn't want to scratch the paint, put a box liner in it. Otherwise,
Exactly.
You know?
That's why you get a box liner or you get that Rhino Tough spray or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Well, shit,
Yeah,
I just throw things.
Don't you got a bicycle?
With the truck. If I didn't want it scratched, I wouldn't have got a truck.
Exactly. I just got a truck. I didn't worry. Yeah. So what? The paint in the
Rhino
box
liners
gets
shouldn't
scratched
be
all the
bought
shit, and
to
then
protect your truck from scratches. They should be bought because they're cool looking.
oh yeah. Well, and if you got a 4-wheel drive, you're gonna have all kinds of brush scratches down the sides of it if you live here.
Doesn't that spray on the Rhino liner?
You
Yeah.
can get it
Yeah,
sprayed
you
on.
can get it off.
roll it. You can get one you roll on.
Yeah.
Oh.
You really don't ever get it
It's-
off. That's kind of the point.
It's literally a technology
so
that
you're
came
never
in
gonna
anti-spalling coating that is
scratches
on
is
armor.
like a null and void.
That's where
No.
that anti-spalling compound came from.
Well,
Oh,
that-
yeah. I thought you
yeah.
were saying it the other way around. Like, they had this anti-spall stuff that they decided to put in truck beds. I'm like, that's...
No,
You're protecting it from rust at that point, and the stuff that you throw, the metal from the stuff you
Yeah,
throw.
and from dents and all kinds of
that's-
shit. If you get it
that's
sprayed
it.
on a brand new box, it'll stay pretty pristine. But that shit's really hard to load stuff in. It's really grippy if you're trying to slide plywood into it or anything like that, or something
Well,
heavy.
The point of
It's like
grippy is
sandpaper.
that your load is not moving around when you're going down the road.
No, it's also really hard to put it in it, though.
Well, I'd much rather have a hard time put it in it than have it. I hit the brakes and all of a sudden everything slams forward.
I'd rather have it
The
slide out
easier it goes
easy.
in, the easier
Yeah,
it comes
I want
out.
it to slide out easy, slide out and slide in easy, because I'm going to tie it down because I'm responsible.
Bob, just use more lube like the rest of us. Jeez.
Nah.
I hate stuff slamming around in the back.
Well, that's why you tie it down so it doesn't
That's what
slam
she
around.
said.
Fuck. See, I'm used to carrying motorcycles in my truck, so I mean, you tie those fuckers down. You
Well,
don't.
that's
like,
different.
Not really. If I got something big and heavy in the back of my truck, I don't want to just count on it staying there because I've got a grippy truck bed. I want it tied down so if I get in an accident, it doesn't come through the cab and take my head off.
Oh, that's
Dude,
what
if
works
it was
out the
going to
middle,
come
yeah.
through the cab and take your head off, it would do it with a Rhino liner or a fucking normal truck bed or a fucking greased up truck bed. If you're going that hard, like that fast, you hit something that hard, it's going to come off the bed of your
Yeah,
truck.
but if you got it tied down properly, it's not.
No,
that's
I thought
one
we
of the
were still
reasons
talking
big
about
semi
Rhino
trucks-
liners versus...
Yeah, but those big semi trucks, they can tie down with those 4-inch straps, and they can get in a head-on collision, and shit does not go sliding forward.
Oh, yeah, no, those
So
straps
much
are
pressure
crazy.
on
You
those.
know, I live outside a major metropolitan area. About 90 miles from me is Chicago, and I get the AM radio out of there 24/7. Almost every day, there is a truck on one of the interstates that has spilled its load all over the interstate.
That's people not properly securing their loads.
Yeah,
What
that's
they-
right.
What I'm
That's
saying is,
Illinois.
99% of the time, they don't ever get in trouble, but that one time they get in a wreck, all their shit goes everywhere.
but I'm saying it happens just because you have
It
the
happens
tie
because
down.
of carelessness.
No,
It doesn't
It's
happen.
not because they have tie downs, it's because they're not using their tie downs correct.
Right. And my point being that better to have tie downs, better to tie down than have any kind of sticky, grippy bed. That's not going to cut it in any kind of accident. You've got to have your tie downs, eh? And a lot of people, because they go, oh, it won't move. Look how sticky this is. It's not going to move. And it's like, yeah, not.
A
Not
pickup
driving
truck
a regular.
and a semi are night and day differences, Bob.
Hey, Bob, if you're saying, hey, you ought to tie that down, and they're like, no, it won't, it'll be fine, you say, all right, cool. When that slides out on the road, you can't find it or it's shattered, you just come here and buy another one, and I'll tie that one down.
That's
Now
right.
now the one that does make me laugh is when I see somebody in a regular car with a mattress on top.
Yeah, tied down with string.
Exactly, and it's like
Okay,
I'm
those
waiting for that
people
thing to
deserve
take
to
off
get wrecked.
like it's a small plane.
Well, there's that famous internet picture, some guy in a little Mazda or something, and he's got a whole fucking deck
Mazda.
on the roof of it, right? And plus like about 20 bags of premixed concrete in the back seat and stuff. And it is right on the fucking ground. And I'm looking at this, and it's all tied on. Like, I'm talking about, maybe 2 feet of plywood on the roof. And
Well,
2x4s.
Mr. Bean did a show on that too, of having way too much stuff in a little car.
Yeah,
Or
but this
see
guy,
Mr.
they arrested him. They said like he was obviously something wrong with him, but he tied it all on with baler twine, like plastic twine that the lumberyards carry.
Yeah.
It's just the same stuff you tie up a bale with a hay bale or
Yeah.
something.
Just light duty cord.
Marijuana
yeah.
bill.
Light duty cord. I had lots of it. I mean, I admit he had lots of, you know, it was all tied through the doors. I guess he had to crawl through the window to get in the car because he hadn't thought to leave the door open while he tied everything down.
The Mazda Millennia.
I don't know. It was some little fucking car anyway. Little Japanese car. Or a Kia or something like that. Asian car. Little Asian car, let's say. And that's not being racist.
Man, what happened to the
Kia America.
talking about?
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I mean, he got busted because the fucking thing was dragging its ass end down the ground, which is where its gas tank is. And yeah, fucking.
So when he
people
pulled
are
over, how
idiots.
many Asians got out of it?
Yeah, there's only 2 in there. The one in the passenger seat was completely out of it. He actually wasn't there from like apparently the other guy was loading, getting the people at Home Depot to load all this shit on for him. And yeah, Home Depot fucking did it. You know, oh yeah, we'll put like 40 sheets of OS 3/8 OSB and 100 2x4s and on the roof of your car and tie it down for you.
One thing that's nice, at least around where I live, is Menards. Well, actually, if you don't have a pickup truck, they have a pickup truck that for $20 you can use for like I forget if it's 4 hours or whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
Where the Home Depot and Lowe's does not. So if you go to Menards and you don't happen to have a pickup truck, you can borrow theirs for $20.
Yeah, if it's not being used.
Right, if it's not being used.
Yeah. I know. We used to, my place. We used to have trailers, like little, kind of utility trailers that you could buy. But then we had to quit doing it because people were like borrowing them, and we wouldn't get them back for 4 days, and they'd have like the tires wore out. They'd obviously like hauled it as far as they could in a day and a half, and then unloaded.
Yeah, whenever
it.
we rob banks, that's what we like to do is go rent one of those. Buy like a piece of drywall, use their truck, rob a bank, bring it back, drive home, profit.
Well, and Home Depot, I think, has a return policy that means that you can just bring it back with that drywall, and you just pay the $20 for using the truck all day. They don't like that.
Yeah, but at Menards, if you don't bring it back in time, they have your credit card, and then there are extra fees that start going on by the hour.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
That's
so
a good idea. Yeah,
if you're 4 hours late, you're going to be paying through the ass.
Yeah.
Now,
Well,
if you set up to have it all day long, then you'll pay less.
Yeah. Well, we rent equipment like insulation blowers and stuff like that, and it's like $50 a day. But I mean, in the summer, that you can't get a hold of one. I mean, you got to book like a month ahead to have it for 1 day. But yeah, we used to rent those trailers, but like I say, I mean, people used to just take and keep them for a weekend, and they'd move from their house or whatever, or move all kinds of shit and overload them, and you get tickets for them because they hadn't.
A rented truck can do anything.
Yeah, well, exactly. I watched MythBusters when they did a thing on how hard is it to pull those 2 phone books apart, and they took 2 rental cars out and were trying to pull a phone book apart, like 2 phone books with the pages all interweaved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, they couldn't do it. It took tanks. Very strange that.
It is pretty cool the way little physics experiments like that.
Yeah, I mean the resistance of all those pages against each other makes them impossible to pull apart. It's fucking bizarre.
Yeah, the surface friction of that is just amazing.
Well, it's not the surface friction; it's the sheer amount of surface area.
Right.
Oh, here comes the engineer.
No, he's right. It is surface area.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, literally, here I come. You want to know how it works? That's how it works.
Well, I know. I'm giving you credit because you are an engineer, right?
I mean, yeah, eventually.
Or you've taken at least a few engineering courses.
Yeah, I mean, I've passed most of them.
Like how you say most of them.
The important ones, not
Make the bomb thingy not go explode every time you go by it. I didn't pass that
Hey,
one.
we don't make things explode. That's chemists. They're crazy.
Engineers do too. They're the ones who actually assemble the stuff the physicists think about.
No, we're the ones who go up to the physicist and tell them why it won't work.
They're just following orders.
Yeah,
But
that's
eventually
basically
you
what
have
the
to.
physicists do.
Yeah. Eventually, you have to figure out how to do what the physicist wants to do, and then, then he takes all the credit for it, and you just get a paycheck.
Well, if by that you mean normal engineer with a bachelor's degree gets paid the same as a standard physicist or chemist or other type of scientist with a master's degree, then yeah, no, all we do is take orders.
Yep. Well, there you go. You're like Howard. You get to do the toilet for the space station, but the other the guys with the PhDs get to think, and sometimes they write it down, and that's their job.
Actually, what it is the physicists do the math and the engineers do the actual making of it.
Yes. Well, there used to be a job for a guy at the university here where I live. And his job, he wasn't
got time to lean, you got time to clean.
He was like just a handyman, and they would have him put together if they needed, a plumbing, or not a plumbing thing, but a thing to move fluids and stuff like that. How do we need to move fluids from here to here? How do we do that? And he'd go, oh, well, we can use this, and he'd cobble something together, right? Because they just wanted to prove the theory. So it didn't have to be like a finished prototype or anything. It just had to be something to prove the theory. And that was his whole fucking job. And he worked there for like 70 years. I'm not shitting you. He was retiring at 80 and they couldn't find a replacement for him.
There's a guy kind of like that in the laboratory. It's almost more really like a machine shop. He's basically like some 50-year-old guy who's just been a machinist all his life.
Yeah.
And whenever any of us engineering students need something, it's like we'll go talk to him, and he'll either tell us how to do it or figure out how to do it on his own if it's too much for one of us to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
too complicated for you
area
guys.
for
He'll
it
do
to
it
boil
on
away.
his own. Yeah, that's I think the kind of guy he was, right? Yeah, he was not famous or anything, but the people who knew him and knew what he did really respected him. Because we do a lot of cool shit in our university. I mean, we got a synchrotron, cyclotron.
DB, anything going on?
DB's
What'd you say? I came here to talk about Terminator.
Oh, you don't really want to talk about stuff in Canada or stuff?
No, I was trying
Are there
to.
Terminator in
cooking.
Canada?
You watched the Terminator trailer. If you notice that it's Kyle Reese, they're sending him back, and then he's in wearing the same clothing. He's in the same sporting goods shop.
Except it ain't him, but alright.
No, it's him.
It's not the right actor, I mean.
Right, exactly. It's not the right actor.
But I hear you. So it's supposed to be him like in the first movie, but he goes back to a parallel time or something?
Well, he comes
branch or
back, but yeah, I guess they sent the Terminator back to pick her up when she was 10.
That young hottie. Oh, 10, no. I mean, that young girl.
Hi,
Yeah, no, she looks like
I've
there's
only seen a preview. I don't know shit about what's happening.
No, there's a picture of Arnold carrying a girl that looks about 8 years old. So it looks like they sent a Terminator back to get her when she was 8, to basically kidnap her and make sure no one comes to kill her, because they must have just kept sending Terminators back
A little bit earlier and a little bit earlier.
Exactly. Exactly. So then
But I thought the trailer has some of age chick walking around.
Oh no, she should be about Sarah Connor's age. It's the first movie all over again at that point, because it's wherever they send Kyle.
It's the same movie, except if the Terminators would have already come, so the world's different.
Right. She's badass now. So when Kyle comes to her, she's not a waitress anymore. She's some badass. She's been trained by the Terminator from the time she was 8. And then
she's going to be a different actress, which is going to be annoying, and then it's going to still be Arnold for something.
Exactly. And then you can hate from there on, but it's gonna suck.
Linda Hamilton's
Arnold's all makeup, right? He's
Is it going to be? I feel the same way as I do about the Mad Max thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I feel better about the Mad Max thing because it's not interfering with timelines. It's just somewhere in between stories.
I guess so, but I guess I didn't pick a great analogy because I don't like the Mad Max thing because I just didn't like where they were going with the damn story. So the fact that they're going with the same story is boring to me. But I guess I was saying it's similar because they're trying to do sort of the same thing, but with some modern like hipster spin on it.
Yeah, you know what's annoying is why can't they come up with original ideas? Let's do something original.
That's hard to do, and also they don't do as well because the whole market is unoriginal comic book superhero stuff and reboots of Star Wars, and then these original ideas just can't compete with the budgets and.
You know, you just
don't want to take a risk on anything.
Possible.
Well, the new thing has to be so good that it creates a following, and how can they create a following? It goes back to what I was saying earlier. We don't live in the time where we don't have to watch anything we don't want to anymore, unless you're a sucker that just has cable TV. I mean, but you know what I'm saying. Even then, you have a choice, a massive choice. So, how can a new movie get to that status? I think Matrix might have been the first Matrix might have been the last one to be able to get that.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. Gee whiz. Just beat me to it.
And why? It was like the last one on VHS / just when DVDs hit, right?
Yep.
And then that was just when, well, basically when AOL bought Time Warner and the internet was like mainstream for everybody. Well, not just the internet, but high-speed internet was pretty much going everywhere. But if you look at some of those cartoons are original, right? And good and
like what?
Multiples. I don't know them all, but every time I see one, I'm like, oh, that's pretty. I'm impressed. You know, it's not like what was those old ones when we were little, like Snow White or whatever.
Oh,
like, okay, great. You made a giant cartoon of a boring old story from like the olden days, and then yes, you put
Talking
little
about like
bunnies in
Pixar films.
Yeah, like the ones that are crazy different, like that guy with the little yellow munchkins and the food one. I've only seen a couple of them just because I was like, hey, I'm going to see what these cartoons are like nowadays. But like I say, they play to everybody and they're interesting and they're visually appealing and all that. But they're totally original, aren't they?
Despicable Me.
Yeah. Despicable Me. Yeah.
The guy with the yellow guys. That's not like just some ripoff of like a Grimm's fairy tale or anything.
No. I agree there. The cartoons, they have a little bit more leeway. But like, so Matrix might have been the last original, like complete original idea, and it just like took everyone's by surprise, I'm sure. And then they were like, holy shit, we just created a franchise. I'm sure they didn't even expect it. And then that's why we got 2 and 3 that sucked, because they really weren't expecting to do 2 and 3. They were, you know what I mean? That was just.
But they didn't love it anymore. It wasn't like, let's do this. It was like, oh, let's make some money.
Right, where like Lucas wrote Star Wars like for years and years and years, all these chapters, and it was just too long to make one movie. So he was like, you know, I'll just do one, but I know I'm going to do these other ones. But Matrix was more like, let's just do this cool movie. And then it made so much money, they were like, "Oh shit! You mean we got to do 2 and 3? Well, shit, we don't really know where this is going, you know." And then it just kind of got out of hand. Those 2 guys just weren't ready. One of them went crazy, became a woman. So I mean, you know, they weren't ready. No, I'm just kidding. That's his personal thing, you know.
Well, that's kind of rude, actually, DB.
No, he really became a woman. Like he had a sex change operation, like you, Bob. Like when you used to be a woman.
Yeah. Right.
Goofy woman.
Uh-huh. Are you having weird fantasies again? Because I know you got really weird about that.
No, that's your wife, man. No, that's your wife.
So we can all agree that the sequels to The Matrix suck. So should they make a reboot or try to like
leave it?
Just leave it
over. I think so. You know what I did like though is those cartoons again.
Yeah, I like the cartoons, the side story ones.
Yeah.
And
that's because I like how they did. If they were going to do something like that, maybe that's the way to do it. Say, we're going to do 5 movies, so we're going to get 5 directors to give us, you know, here's basically what happens. Now you 5 directors go nuts with it. That would be, I think, kind of neat.
Yeah, that would be cool. I'm glad they never made like a Matrix TV series.
What about the redo of, dang it, I can't remember the name of the movie, where Schwarzenegger's the guy and his wife, and he beats her up because she's a spy, and then he's a spy in his mind. Oh, damn it. It's a good one.
True
Oh, the one where he goes to Mars?
Total Recall.
Total Recall. How about the new Total Recall?
I haven't seen it yet. I still haven't
Yeah,
seen
me
it.
neither.
It's crazy, like iRobot running around. iRobots running around as like Stormtrooper iRobot hybrids.
Yeah, they like control
Crazy
everything on the
wave.
surface. Or
And
whatever.
it's like it's like an iRobot movie except mixed with Stormtroopers because they're military.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Total Recall.
And you know,
So I don't
what's
really like
everything-
the movie so much, but the way that they just blew it away with special effects, I just love special effects in that second.
What does everything
I
get?
like
Are
the
they
new
actually
Judge Dredd.
out robots for the military? Is that going
What?
to happen? We're going to have humanoid robots for the
Of
military?
course, yes, they already
Shit,
have close to it already.
Hopefully.
They
Why would-
already have contraptions that can sit in a standard vehicle that you just put in, and it is remote controls a vehicle. So all
Yeah.
they have to do is mobilize that.
I suppose, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to happen. And if it isn't already, we don't know that you're not a robot. We've never seen you like actually bleed.
Oh, we have too. I've got a
I'm just
video
saying.
of it, I think.
Sure, you say you passed out. How do we know your batteries just didn't die that night?
I saw your robot fingernails are falling off.
That battery,
Yeah, I know,
that laugh sounds very mechanical.
Yeah. Hey, if you watch my shooting video, you could tell I was very human because I'm very shaky at certain parts of the day. So
Yeah, you just need oil.
That's crap. That's from smoking all that dope.
no, it's just all the stupid painkillers you gotta take. Some of them are like nerve blockers, so they make your nerves get a little weird.
Got rickety bolts.
You gotta stop abusing fucking prescription drugs.
Well, you have to when you're like old and fucking
34 out of 100? That's not very good.
It's 34 out of 36. I got a
Yep.
30 on mine, and I was in like the 99th
Everything.
percentile.
You got a 30 on a what? On a Glock.
ACT.
He got a 30 on his test.
I must have taken the other one because I thought my number was like in the 100 or something.
You were.
The
Well,
Well, the
SAT,
SATs
I've-
are in the hundreds.
Okay, then I took that one. It wasn't very good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, my ACT was 31, I think.
I wonder if there's a one you can figure out what your number was a million years later.
Call your high school.
yeah, I'm gonna say they have it on file somewhere.
I know my high school no longer has it on file. They sent me a nice letter saying that if you don't come get your records, we're getting rid of them. So
And I know which school to go to get somebody's score.
really,
This was a super creep.
Fine.
Yeah, Dano's stalking people.
You gotta braid that thing yourself
Huh?
or coil that thing yourself.
Yeah, but I'm making a paracord wrap coil. It's just gonna be fucking epic.
If he doesn't do the coils himself, then he can't make his non-smoking smoking alternative actually smoke.
You're right about that.
I watched Almost Famous last night. I haven't watched